This is a difficult time for universities across the country, facing pay freezes, even staff cuts. But that's not the case at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, where agricultural programs are leading the way towards a big expansion. Pleased to be joined by a guy, Dr. Ronnie Green, who says he wishes he could be 16 because it'd be cool to be back on the farm again. We're living in a world with a lot of challenges in agriculture, but a lot of opportunities. And that's, I think, the takeaway that you try to share to people is there's a lot of exciting stuff, and the university is leading the way.
No, that's right. You know, I did say that I wish I was 16 again because when I was 16, a lot of folks were talking about how you didn't want to stay on the farm. You wanted to go off and do something different and get an education, go into a different field, which is what my parents told me to do. I ended up being a college professor. Today, when we look at the prosperity that agriculture is experiencing, in Nebraska especially, and we look at the challenges that are out there ahead for the world and feeding a world population that's doubling and growing very, very fast. It's a phenomenal time to be thinking about agriculture.
And I notice when you speak, you don't say production, you talk about food security. So Nebraska, there's a lot of opportunities for us in those regards, right?
A real simple rule to help keep it in perspective is that by 2050, we will need twice as much food production to feed 2 billion more people for a total of 9.5 billion on the planet by then. And 70% of that increase in food production we estimate is going to need to come from technology enhancements, and 3 billion of those 9 billion people are going to demand animal protein that today don't demand it. So it's huge growth opportunity.
Now, you asked the producers at this meeting here, we've seen climate variability, and what do they make of that?
I mean, if you look at the long-term data going back to the late 1800s, it does look like we're warming. And it's hard to dispute that that's the case, but we know it's changing. We need to understand that very well. We need to understand how it's changing, what those trends tell us, what that means for Nebraska agriculture, whether that's a positive, a negative. Also ask them about water, and did they think that one day that production agriculture would actually have to pay for the water that we use for irrigation.
But there again, you know, as we deal with drought this past year, we've got a great resource here in the state, being the home of that National Drought Mitigation Center. I've been there, talked with the experts. What a phenomenal thing to have based in our state here, right?
Well, these maps of the United States.
That drought monitor everybody sees.
Drought monitor that's coming out weekly to tell us about what's happening in the drought, whether we're shrinking it at all, whether it's becoming more severe. Unfortunately for us here in Nebraska, we haven't seen a lot of relief yet. We still have ways to go, but to have that National Drought Mitigation Center, and we're very proud of the work that they're doing to help us with the drought.
Just to wrap it up, you get excited when you get out and talk because you get to talk about the exciting things with your mission, and you made the point today that no other land-grant university is doing the things that we're doing with the University of Nebraska, creating more positions, doing a lot of exciting, innovating thing. You must have a fun job to get out there and kind of spread that message.
Well, I say I have the greatest job in the world because we are so well positioned in this area in Nebraska, and because the university has recognized that food, fuel, and water and innovations around those areas are so important. So being able to add almost 10% to our faculty, currently having 8 years of student enrollment growth in agriculture, it's a record for the university, all-time enrollment record in ag and natural resources, increasing our research expenditures to levels we've never seen before. That's tremendously exciting, a lot of fun, and we look forward to great outcomes from it.
Keep up the good work. Dr. Green, thanks for being with us.
You bet.
Kent Boughton is up next with your grow forecast, and still to come, we'll take a look at technology on the farm. Stay tuned.